Okay. Hello there. Now, I bet you didn't know there's an upcoming anniversary that's very important. You don't know? Ah, okay, very good. See, this Sunday will mark the 54th anniversary of Martin Luther King Jr.'s I've Been to the Mountaintop sermon, which originally happened April 3rd, 1968 in the Mason Temple in Memphis, Tennessee. MLK was addressing the people regarding the Memphis sanitation strike, which was started the previous February whenever two black sanitation workers were crushed to death in a trash compactor after being forced to work in terrible conditions. After their deaths, their widows were not compensated and were given no insurance benefits, and the plight of the black sanitation workers came to the public's awareness. MLK had visited Memphis in March to a crowd of 25,000 people to encourage them to keep doing what they're doing because they were fighting for freedom and demonstrating unity. However, he returned on April 3rd because he wanted to encourage the people to stop rioting and looting and return to nonviolent demonstrations of protesting, which in his view gave the best view of Christian protesting. Additionally, King suggests that as a sign of posterity and unity, protesters boycott a variety of products such as Coca-Cola and Wonder Bread because they had purposely enacted policies that were unfair to Black Americans. In his sermon, King references Deuteronomy 34, 1 through 4, where the Lord shows Moses the promised land, but tells him only his descendants will live to see it. King applies this to himself and to those listening, acknowledging that they full well could never see the fruits of their labor, but that does not mean that they should stop striving for equality. King would recall a previous assassination attempt where a knife would have pierced his aorta, and if he had sneezed, he would have died. And then he recalls how thankful he is that he did not sneeze and all the ways God has worked through him to further the civil rights movement. King says he has been given a vision of the grand scheme of what equality between white and black people would look like, and says that even if he loses his life, if it is in the name of equality, he would gladly make the sacrifice. You see, the very next day, Martin Luther King Jr. would be assassinated at the hands of James Earl Ray. King's funeral was attended by 300,000 mourners, and it forced the nation to pay attention to the plight of Black Americans. Ladies and gentlemen, how does this reflect Christian missions? King's life exudes the Christian mission, as he directly correlated equality and peaceful coexistence to the Christian lifestyle. He strove to prove that the Black person was equal in the eyes of God, and because of this, our laws needed to reflect that. King was adamant that Christian living was not compatible with violent protesting, as his contemporary Malcolm X had asserted. And King did his best to try to dissuade the secular influence that was taking hold of the civil rights movement and center equality on theological reasoning. In this way, Martin Luther King Jr. shed awareness to how hypocritical and cruel the white Protestant majority was and convinced many to change their racist, bigoted thinking. And the following generations have continued this tradition in trying to reach the mountaintop.